Welcome to Cafe Chronicles. You're here with Dan, the man with the plan who can, and me, Steve. If you remember last episode, we got stuck into creating a template for the seat pan. That's cardboard. We're afraid that if it gets wet, it might be no good. This time we're going to actually make it out of some sheet steel. We're going to pop our template straight down onto it and cut it roughly out, clamp it onto the bench here, and we'll make it a little neater. It's funny, we're like making this seat. I said to my wife, I'm like, yeah, we're making the seat. She's like, I thought you did that video. I'm like, well, we cut out the template. She's like, well, what are you going to do today? Finish the seat? And I'm like, well, we're going to cut out the template, but then we have to get the hinges on it. We got to weld it on. He's like, and then you're finished the seat. Like, well, then we got to like make the seat. We got to. It's like a lot goes into it.
A lot goes into it.
Well, let's get stuck in. That's looking good. So we've cut the rough shape out there. I think all we need to do now is just kind of fit it on the bike, see if there's any bits that are really kind of looking blatant to us that we should kind of pair in. And if not, we're good to move on to the next step. Yeah, like the only thing I'd say is here, maybe there. You see the way that kind of hangs out a little bit? And you know, this comes in a little further, so we can match it here just a tiny little bit, go a little bit harder, just slightly there. And other than that, like, it's not bad, is it? Like a glove.
So if you look closely, there's a bracket here that the seat is, well, that the seat's bolted to, that the bracket bolts to the seat. But all the bracket does is have these two holes in it. And these two holes accommodate this whole latch that goes through, and it's threaded. And so there's a lock nut on the top and the positioning nut on the bottom. So we could actually just take these off if the threads are survivable after 30 years.
We can
40 years.
We can rethread it if we need to.
All the lock has is this one little clasp, right? That clicks in. So it can position. We have a lot of variability of movement here as long as we get the distance right from the hoop. So as long as we have the one dimension, then this is adjustable by, like, not adjustable, it's you can accommodate up to about an inch.
Yeah.
Forwards and backwards, and then this is adjustable by the thread. So we could actually just drill two holes in that seat pan and then play with the adjustment to get the seat height position.
Yeah. So we can see there what Dan was talking about with the threads. That's going to be great. We'll clean that up. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what we've done up here, you'll see here we've got this little hole here, and the reason for that is that the tank fits in, slides down here like this, and then we've got a little wing nut that goes in and tightens here. So what we have to make sure is, one, that this doesn't interfere with it, and also we have a point here that we can mount off or fasten to. So what we're thinking is, we're going to make a little recess here. We might even kind of grind this back a little bit here even to give us a little bit more room. But in the seat, we'll actually make a little recess in here. So imagine this being kind of the interior of the seat, and that will allow space here for this kind of wing nut to be on there like that. And what we'll do is we'll weld in a piece of flat bar just here, either underneath or on top. And then basically we'll have it come up either side of this bolt going through. And it'll be kind of like this. So if you can imagine, it'll kind of sit in like that around it. So the flat piece of steel's here, the tank goes up to it. Then we'll put in a spacer that this little piece of flat bar can kind of form to either side. And then we'll put a washer on, and then the wing nut goes on top. And then basically all we'll have to do is slot this in. It'll fit in around this bolt and it'll hold it in place. And then back in here, it'll click into place, lock into place. And to unlock it, key underneath, click, and we can take it off. We'll bore holes here, you know, so that we can mount the seat into it. Mount the seat to it, I should say. And, you know, from what you would have seen in the last episode, is we're planning to make the line with the top of the seat back to here. And the bottom will follow this kind of contour here, but it won't matter because the top line will be kept with the line of the bike, the tank and that. So this here will stop the pan from moving left to right and forward or back, and back here then this lock will keep it in place as well. Yep. Okay, and just to kind of explain why we've kind of made this, the tank will actually come to here, so you won't really see this, you know, it'll be covered. And we left this for rigidity. Underneath, we're going to bring the piece of flat bar up and then around so that it goes either side of our butterfly or wing nut. And fits in, and it'll secure the seat pan here from sliding left or right or forward or back as well up the front. Then back here underneath we'll have our latch. But the reason why we took these two little pieces out here and here were just so that the actual tank itself won't be interfering here, you know. So here you can see now it's not going to interfere with the tank. Under here we're going to measure to see how we've got room in there for the flat bar to go. How is it?
Like, I'm happy with that. So you want to make sure when you're taking apart things that are over 40 years old that you want to keep, or at least a couple months old in the rust belt. Once you start getting as much rust accumulation as this, when you start taking off the nut, it'll end up dragging all of that rusted material back through the threads, and then you risk damaging it. So if you can get a wire brush or something else and clean this up as much as possible, you'll give that nut and whatever you're trying to keep the best chance of surviving. Because if you end up running enough crud over it, you may damage it to the point that a die nut can't save you.
The reason why I couldn't use I don't know why we're wearing safety glasses while we're on just taking off a few nuts here, but yeah, the reason why I couldn't use the latching system in season 1 on the CB750K build, don't forget to check it out, season 1, if you haven't already.
Hashtag shameless plug.
The reason why we couldn't use it was because the way the CB750 seat actually lifted up, it latched on the outside, and on top of that, it actually held the tank down as well. So what I had to do was create a whole kind of locking system for the tank and a latching system as well for the seat. So bit of a saga, but we got there in the end. So this is the little latch here. We're going to basically try and fit it to the bottom of our pan. So we can see now we've got the pan all set with our little loop in here. We've got our little piece of flat bar shaped, and you can see the little notch that we have here where it kind of hugs around our wing nut there. So Dan is the as seen on TV model here, where he's like place.
Lifts out.
There we go.
Cool, that's looking good. So now we have our seat pan. So we're going to, have to drill some holes in here as well so that we can put our little piece on, so that we can make our seat covering and all that stuff. But we're a step closer. We have a way to go, but it's taking shape quick, so. I think that was okay.
You made out okay.
We've got a seat pan on there, which is nice. The latching mechanism works nicely. We can put in a few little pieces to stabilize it on the frame a little more, but I think it's going to be good. We also want to put some rubber grommets under there as well, so that when it sits down, that won't be shuddering or shattering or anything like that when it's in place. But I think we're in a really good spot to kind of actually think about reassembling it now with the battery cage and seeing how it all fits together and works. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like. Also, if you remember, in the description we put that link to Dan's Google Docs. So we've seen you guys have been going on there and start to put some stuff in there. That's great. That is a list of all the things that already we've planned to buy for this. Obviously this is a budget build, Cafe Racer budget build. So, we keep saying that we want to buy stuff for the bike, but we don't want to buy it twice. So we don't want to buy something that's crappy and then have to buy another one further down the road or something like that. So if you guys could take some time, look in the description, go on to Dan's Google Docs, see what's on there that you can that you'd like or you suggest, or if there's anything on there that you think's crap we shouldn't buy, let us know in the comments of the video. Post, because I don't think that Google Doc is editable, is it? No, so it's read only for you guys.
That would be chaos.
So basically it's read only for you guys. So what you'd need to do is just take a look. If there's something you disagree with on the list, then go into the comments on the video here and let us know what you think.
Or if you just think we have bad taste, let us know.
Yeah. Mostly Dan. I don't do well with bad criticism. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you like the videos and you want to see more of it. And don't forget to like and stay safe.